a whole mouth. Actually, dental insurance won't cover that, and so I'd be out like what's a full mouth of fake teeth? $60,000, something like that. 40,000. That's a lot.
Go to Mexico.
Things go crazy. If you were to have like a jaw tooth problem like that, I think you're on your major medical. It's not even.
I got my bill for my cancer surgery. All right, let's guess how much it was. Anesthesia, the surgery, and everything. No insurance.
$10,000.
Taylor going with $10,000.
Yeah, I feel like the vibe I'm getting is it's surprisingly low, but it can't be under 10 grand. So I'm gonna say $18,999.
$1,200.
What?
Yeah.
No, neither of us won.
No.
That's really cheap.
How the hell did you get that taken care of for $1,200? Where did you go? Did you go to a vet?
My wife had
horses, but
like
I knew when he gave me that dog treat afterwards that
all right, you did such a good job. Who's ready for their dentist stick?
When I walked out of there with that cone on my head, I knew I had made a decision that was.
When he kept calling me good boy, it felt like reverse racism. But
I just liked it when those girls patted me on the head. I didn't understand.
They come in after the surgery and you're just pawing at the top of it. Kyle, no, Dad.
I don't understand. Am I cheaper because you had or didn't have insurance? I don't know. Exactly. My wife had a kidney stone like a while back, call it 7 years ago, and she was in a lot of pain. It was a problem. She went to the ER as you would, like it was a acute issue, and basically they diagnosed it. They took not an X-ray, but some sort of scan of her belly, and gave her a drug to make it go away a little more easily. $18,000 for her afternoon in the ER.
It's outrageous.
Yeah. No, we were insured, so
fuck.
Copay.
Best healthcare in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very cheap, and
it was literally a surgery with a team dealing with you. This was a doctor who just seemed to stop by every couple of minutes.
Wow. Yeah, my daughter's awesome. Like I really genuinely like this guy. And doctor, anesthesiologist, like 2 nurses in the room at the time. I was there for hours, and $1,200, not bad.
Yeah. And it was general anesthesia, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had the whole recovery room experience. There's a team there watching over you.
Yeah. The anesthesia was like $500, I think. So that's like of the
500's a good night.
Damn right.
Right.
But a lot of fucking good shit for $500.
I feel like you could spend half that at a bar.
Oh yeah. That alcohol's bullshit, especially at like a bar.
Yeah. I watched a TV show today where the guy, he was having a really bad day, and he got the whole bottle of whiskey from a bar. Like, what does a bar charge for a bottle of whiskey? Like $100?
More.
Couple hundred.
More. Yeah, when we were in New York, we ordered table service. So it came with a bottle of Absolute vodka, a bottle of orange juice, and like a pitcher of ice. And I want to say it was like $250.
Right?
And that's a cheap ass. It's Absolute vodka too. Like it's like a middle level vodka.
Oh, I thought that was high. Okay. I mean, maybe I'm like, yeah, Absolute's really good. You can tell because they have excellent photography in their ads. I think that the Absolute ad campaign is like a feather in your cap as a photographer. Like if you land them and do that, then you're a hot shot.
Yeah. Vodka's what I drink when I can drink and if I'm going to drink, but I don't like Absolute vodka. It would be my vodka of choice. Big fan of Tito's. Just tastes better.
Okay. I thought Tito's isn't tequila.
Mm-mm.
What's the tequila that you like?
I can't think of the name of it. There's 2 different ones. It's Spanish, obviously, the name of it. But the bottles are beautiful. It's got like this big, like golden egg stopper that goes in the top, and it's got like the cantilever thing where it like goes up over the thing, and you like
alcohol comes in some pimp bottles sometimes. Crown Royal is in my head. Does that come in the velvet bag? Am I thinking of the right one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I got my Magic the Gathering dice in one of those bags.
Yeah, everybody uses those for something interesting.
Yeah.
So my favorite fitness related videos on YouTube are gym fails. It's either when someone for some reason has decided to put 1,200 pounds and try to deadlift it or try to squat it, or when people are just using machines completely wrong, like they're on the cable machine and they've got a cable in each hand and they're just like bouncing around like it's a kid's game. Have you ever seen any stuff like that in real life?
Nothing that's as bad as a gym fails video. I think a lot of the gym fails videos are fake. People are just doing that, which is fine because it's so funny as hell. I love them anyway. They're great. I was like, oh, I never thought about doing that way. Okay, that's creative. Trying to think of some like weird crap I've seen at the gym before, though.
I mean, look, Juji's had some pretty good gym fails, though, himself.
Me?
Yeah. Maybe not to like that level of thing. The nosebleed one is good.
The nosebleed one.
Where you just kept bleeding out of your nose for a
long time. Deadlift?
No, that was I used to work out at the park on my lunch break at work. I would go to the park and hang up the rings on a swing set, and then I would do gymnastics rings. And I remember I was going through a garlic eating phase where I was eating an entire cluster of garlic every day. It's like crazy. I was trying to keep witches and vampires away. I was really
bet it worked.
And the Roman
Wait,
soldiers,
hold on. You went through a garlic eating phase?
Yeah. I was, and Roman soldiers, they have shields. They keep the garlic, it's like an amulet. It protects you. So garlic is really good luck. So I was eating a cluster of it a day, and I was prone to nosebleeds.
Don't you laugh at him? There were no witches at all.
No, there are. My boss was a witch. She was a Russian
I wouldn't
witch.
laugh at him in person.
And, the garlic thins your blood.
We're separated.
I get up on these rings and I just go upside down and I hear this sound. And it's both nostrils popping. And then blood just starts gushing in the back of my throat. I'm upside down. I'm like, okay, I get off the rings. I go sit down. I'm at a park by myself. And like, this is like, I've been having a nosebleed every day for like a week. And I'm tired of doing this and swallowing blood and feeling sick. So I was like, I'm just going to sit here and watch it bleed out. So I just sat there and just watched this puddle of blood form for like 10 minutes and it just wouldn't stop. And then I started getting lightheaded. I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to work now and tell my boss I probably need to go to the hospital. So I go back to work and I tell my boss and she's like, hey, what the hell? Get out of here. Like, go to the hospital now. I was like,
you're scaring the customer. What job was this at the time?
I was a biotech manager, so I worked for a biotech company. But yeah, I went to the hospital and they do the nose cauterization. They take like a punk, those things that you light fireworks with. It looks just like that, and they just stick it up your nose. And then I've only had like one or two.
How much did that hurt? Without a string.
How much did that hurt?
Oh, it doesn't hurt at all. It's great.
Is it hot?
No, I mean, when your nose has been bleeding that much, anything feels good.
Oh yeah. After I took Accutane when I was in middle school, I started getting chronic nosebleeds, and it also made it so I no longer tan at all. Haven't had a pimple in 3 years, but Accutane fucked with me. Get me my cholesterol really high as like a 14-year-old, but there was one time I got a nosebleed from it, and usually a nosebleed is one nostril. This one was both, and I remember laying on my back being like, this is the solution. You can't bleed if you lay on your back. My nose was bleeding so bad it was overflowing onto my face. And I was like, I need to go to the doctor or something. This is bad.
Outsmarted by blood.
Taylor, do you have your nose cauterized?
No, I've never had my nose cauterized. I've had a bunch of sinus surgeries. I don't breathe well. I was that kid who it was probably 8 before I broke, or I was 7 the first time I broke my nose, and I was like, I couldn't breathe through my nose at all. And so as I was eating, my dad would always yell at me because he'd be like, Taylor, stop fucking opening your mouth when you're eating. And I couldn't. Like, I would wonder, like, how the fuck are people eating and breathing at the same time? Because I would be chewing and I'd be like, okay, keep chewing. I was like, man, how the hell does everyone do this? But then they gave me a couple surgeries, and that doctor fucked it up, did not fix it. So I have
the same thing, actually. I broke my nose and it blocks one of the nostrils, and I just keeps growing, and I have to keep going to a plastic surgeon to like every 5 years because the cartilage just keeps blocking my nose.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what I have.
Actually.
I'm scared of doctors, so I don't go very often.
I have a
Scared of
deviated
goggles.
septum, so the inside of my nose is crooked. Visually, I don't know if you can see, but it's pretty straight, like you wouldn't know. But if you look back at like pictures of the Woodworth family through the generations, you get to my great-great-grandparents, their noses like start in one corner of their face and finish in the other, and that effect has been diluted as we've overachieved with women throughout the years.
Oh,
Dude, I used to have a hump in my nose. And the second time I broke it, like I went in there and I was only like 13, 14. And the doctor was like, hey, you want me to just fix the nose or do you want me to shave anything out, make it even? And my mom was just like, you know what? While you're in there, shave it down, make it okay. And now my nose, if you were to feel it, has right angles.
Really?
Angles on here. Yeah. You can feel the corners of where he shaved down my nose bone. And so got a fantastic nose. The inside's not too great, but that's okay.
Yeah, they reshaped mine when I broke it. The whole side of it was collapsed in. Like this side was collapsed all the way in.
Mine has
Your
a
nose
bump
is good.
on
I
it
didn't even
because
know you broke it.
somebody punched me.
Same.
I
Said something I shouldn't have.
my friend said something he shouldn't have, and I got hit. But
Mine was
Dude,
all my fault.
oh no, I they were like talking in your face. I put my arm across him to like, to sort of diffuse the situation, and they hit me.
Oh yeah, when I broke my nose, I was playing ice hockey for at least 2 different teams. I was playing football. I was wrestling. And how did I break it? Basketball, when my own teammate brings down a rebound way too aggressively. That guy was retarded, and he caught me right in the nose. He's also the fucker that ruined this finger. I remember that. That was senior year of high school. We were on the same flag football team, and I go and I get the flag from this Indian kid who was slow as shit. Easy grab. And then this other guy, Phil.
Gilbert Grape comes up to
I
you.
know you're out there. Then Phil comes over there. He grabs it from me, but he grabs my finger at the same time. And he like broke it totally to the other side. And I remember being really scared. And I was like, I really don't want to go to the doctor. But in my head, I was like, you've watched movies. What you do is you pull it as hard as you can, and it'll reset it somehow. And I did that, and it was excruciating. And it turns out now I can't bend my finger right, so that was the wrong move.
The wisdom of
doctors
14-year-old Taylor.
Movies.
Using the Rambo method out there in the fucking gym. Why are you afraid of
I thought it made
doctors?
sense. I thought it made sense.
Why are you heating up a big knife? I don't know. I saw it.
Gunpowder in the wound? Why are you afraid of doctors though? You have some trauma?
No, I just don't like going.
I love it.
No trauma, nothing at all. I really dislike going to the doctor because I guess my fear is like I'll go there for a broken finger and they'll be like, "Oh no, you got gut cancer, bitch. You're fuced." Like,
Oh yes, avoiding the doctor will solve that. So that's good thinking.
in my head.
I've always
It's okay.
enjoyed the
It's
doctor.
okay, Taylor. I don't go to the doctor.
Thank you, Juji. Yeah,
I hate them. They don't know
solidarity.
what they're talking about half the time.
No, they'll say you need to eat less. You need to do this and that. And I'm like,
Eggs have cholesterol.
this is propaganda. Oh, that amount of goldfish isn't appropriate every day? Okay. You go fuck yourself.
You're the strong man. What's this? Bill Kazmaier from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
There's a story about him. God, that guy's crazy. You should look him up sometime. He's fun. There was a goldfish eating contest, like actual fish, and it was for kids. It was for children. You know, like kid eat like
were there actual children eating live fish?
It was for to see if they could win.
This was the
90s. He ate 300 goldfish or something. It's a true story. And
He ate 300 goldfish?
yeah, he did it because he was hungry. He needed the protein.
Did he? Was he competing
why he
against
did it.
children? You said it was for kids.
He was competing against other strongmen. So he
in
needed
the
protein
fish
to
eating,
train.
or in the kid? All the strongmen decided to beat the kids in the fish eating contest.
No, he needed the protein, so he went to a goldfish eating contest and just ate all the fish.
Okay, but he beat all the kids.
Yeah, he beat the kids.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So the other strongmen weren't
No,
eating
the
the fish
strongmen are
as well.
competing. That was
I picture
you never
him
heard-
at like a folding picnic table, surrounded by 7-year-olds who eat 2 fish, and he's at 300 in. I like it. It's a good video.
Oh yeah, we were at like some school fair, you know, those like field days they have in high school. And I was in high school, probably sophomore at the time, and my youngest brother, about 7 years younger than me, so he was maybe 7, 8, and they had a booth where you could buy goldfish, and he was hanging out with this other young girl, and he bought a goldfish and then was like, I'm going to eat it. And it really upset her, and he ate it anyway. And then the rest of the day, all he did was go back, because we were all laughing. We're like, that's fucking hilarious. Keep eating goldfish. And so I kept giving him money, and he would go back and buy goldfish, and then he would swallow them and eat them right in front of that girl. And it was cracking my shit up.
How many?
I think he had 3. I think he had 3.
Oh, yes.
So,
Which brother is this?
This is my youngest brother. He's a lot of my family's here now, but 7 years younger than me. He's 22 now.
I like him more than you.
Yeah, well, you'd like both my brothers.
How many living creatures have you eaten?
Oh man, I didn't eat any goldfish that day. I'll tell you that. No.
I don't think I would. I honestly feel bad for the fucking fish.
Oh, it dies so fast.
Does it? How do you know?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because the second it hits your stomach acid, like any ability for it to breathe is gone. So it asphyxiates probably painfully in your stomach very quickly.
Yeah, but what if there's 300 of them in there and you're like number 301?
Oh.
And it's like a final rave.
You're just flopping on top of the corpses of all your brethren.
Why is it
ayahuasca trip?
Why is asphyxiating so fast anymore? Like Taylor, if I were to say, Taylor drowned super fast when I held him underwater, it's like 4 minutes it takes you to die. Like it's
That's a long time. This is just something that someone told me at some point, and I'm repeating blindly. Is they were like, yeah, there's no oxygen, there's nothing in there. They're just slowly burning in stomach acid, but way before they burn in stomach acid, they're dying of lack of oxygen.
Now, I've seen those magicians. I was going to say musicians. Magicians do that trick where they swallow the goldfish and then they bring it back up. But I always notice when they do that, they drink a lot of water with the fish, like a pint of water before.
Those are 2 separate goldfish, right? Like
So
a
the
goldfish
fish can
dies every
swim?
time they do it.
So it's the Prestige, but for goldfish.
Yeah.
Everyone's the whole David Blaine act.
Spoiler alert. Anyone who hasn't seen the Prestige.
So Taylor, they're drinking a lot of water, eating a goldfish, and then just not bringing that goldfish back up. It's a second goldfish that they bring back up.
That's what I made up a minute ago. Yes.
You fucker.
Yeah, dude.
They're bringing that fish up. They're bringing him up.
David Blaine is regurgitating that goddamn fish in front of all those black people
I watched
in all those videos, bro.
That was an idea for a show I had a couple years ago called Black Magic, and it's street magicians who only perform for black people because they have way better reactions
They're
than
so
everyone
much
else.
better. Yeah, yeah.
That's an Aziz Ansari joke.
Oh god damn it! Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, Aziz. I just stole a joke from you. My bad.
Yeah, he's a long-time viewer.
Yeah, being a doctor, a medical doctor, anytime before 1900 would have been hilarious.
Just being a con man.
You just make shit up. Well, it seems you're possessed by demons, yes. And what about the bullet wounds in my chest? No, that's ancillary at most.
That's where the demons get in.
This is mostly demon related. You will know for sure if it's demon related if a green algae sort of substance starts growing on your dead within the fortnight. It's like, and so then in the end, they're like, yeah, he died just like you said. Demonry.
Yeah, and like things like mental illness, like
Wearing your black plague mask, just being like, hold on, I'm sterile. Mask Halloween, man.
things like mental illness must have really sold them back in the day on the idea of demonic possession. If you think about it, like we've all probably seen a homeless man out on the road talking to himself and fucking acting weird and shit. And like, if you take me back 500 years and I see that motherfucker, I'm like, uh-oh, Satan's got him. Only one thing to do: get the fire stoked, grab him.
Yeah. So what's the deal? If they drown, they were guilty, and if they don't drown, it seems like they had that flipped all this time.
I think
what else floats? Very small rocks.
The Monty Python
I remember
skit.
watching that clip as a kid, and like that, I had never up until that point in my life busted out laughing before in that like can't control it way. It was like my little brain couldn't process how something could be that funny. Like the very small rocks.
I love it. They like drag. Like, we've got a witch. How do you know she's a witch? "Course she looks like one. Look at that nose." And she's like, "They put this on me." And it's like a carrot nose with a string. And she like pulls it down and like, "Did you? Well, we did put it on her. Yeah, it's true. But she is a witch."
Dude, being like chief witch finder or head doctor or anything like that would have been a stitch. So fucking easy. Nobody has the authority to question you. They can't, even if they steal your medical textbooks, just like some other older guy being like, "Now, contrary to what the Greeks thought, we do not want to get rid of too much blood. We need blood." You know,
they hadn't figured that out until like a couple hundred years ago. That's why Washington died, you know.
Wait, what?
Yeah, George,
Really?
yes, George Washington had a sore throat. All right?
That
And
is
they
a killer.
It is a killer if the doctor prescribes taking a few pints of blood out of you. And that's what they did. They took like 3 or 4. You've only got 5 pints or something.
No, I'm not
like
a doctor, but this is starting to make sense to me, right? Now, I'm not saying taking 5 pints out is a good idea, but if you swap out all the pints, won't you stop being sick?
No, no, you'll be dead. and Kyle's 100%
No,
right.
no. All right, wait, hear me out. I got more. So, like fitness, right? When you're fit, you have more red blood cells. Couldn't I just swap out my blood for a fit person's?
Not in 1797.
Maybe.
Performance-enhancing drugs, or like not drugs. You can actually, if you're an elite like athlete, they take some blood out of you and you go up on like high altitude and you work out, and then once you worked out there for like a month or like really hard, you go back, you get your own blood. They put your own blood back in.
Okay, hear me out.
Blood cells
You go work out and then give me the blood. I don't know why that wouldn't work.
It absolutely works, but you don't want the blood. You want the red blood cells.
Yes.
Plasma.
Yes.
Yeah. You want the oxygen carrying. That's what blood doping is.
I know. I just feel like you guys are really downing the whole blood swapping when there's some potential here.
No,
I
was
don't
no
want to swap.
Right?
No, there was no swap at any time. It was literally a doctor, George Washington, being like, "I've got like 100 splinters in my throat from these wooden teeth. Please help." And he was like, "All right, George, we're gonna take a pint and a half of blood. See how you feel in the morning." He took a pint and a half of blood. And then they did what the doctors did with blood in those times, and they went, "Ugh, disgusting." They dump it out. And then the next day he came back, and they're like, "Georgie, how you feeling, my boy?" And he's like, "Oh, honestly, my throat's no better, and I feel very weak." And he's like, "Still too much blood then." So they did the same thing again, and he just died.
They were really bad at pattern recognition.
And then back then, people would come in and tell the doctor, like, "We know you did your best." To try and save him. Meanwhile, he needed like a fucking Werther's original, and that was it.
I do follow that they weren't swapping blood, they were just draining it. But I don't think that you guys are on board with all the medical benefits that could come with blood swapping. It would seem like if we swapped out all my blood, then I would get rid of half my sickness, maybe.
Or you could get HIV.
The sickness isn't in your
there's
blood.
so much in your
It could be. There's got to be a little in there.
I mean, if anything, the antibodies are in your blood. The white blood cells
Well, the
are
new
going
blood
out.
will have antibodies too.
Your blood will have to make new white blood cells that know what to do. I think you'll get sicker if you.
Okay, I hear where you're coming from. So what I need to do is swap blood with someone who's beaten this virus already.
Well, now that'll work. That'll work. I think we just solved the AIDS crisis.
I think I could be a 17th century doctor.
Roll that
one.
70s show like music, like the gang solves the AIDS crisis.
Dude, I think it was even in like the 1860s, like during the Civil War, where all the doctors were like going around with a hacksaw. Doctor is a generous term for the people in this time.
Carpenter.
Going around and being like, sewing things up and sawing things off. And then they go to a big basin full of bloody, dirty water, dip their hands in and take it out, and then go and dip their hands into some other person. And everybody was getting sepsis. And then it was like Florence Nightingale or like some nurse. And she was like, "Honestly, guys, like if we just would use new water, hear me out, new water, I think we could save some lives." And all of them are like, "Get a load of this, bitch. New fresh water. Get out of here. You don't have rights yet."
I'd be butting heads with Florence Nightingale. No, what we need is used blood.
It would be leading to charge.
If you're throwing that bucket of blood out, then,
then the history books would read, Florence Nightingale almost caused a huge shift in medicinary. That was until Sir Matthew Woodworth stormed up, slapped her in the face, and said, "Get the fuck out of here, you retard. We need our bloody water." Which led to the return of the Black Plague. And
we're so fucking backwards, and it has been like it was just that it was like 100 years ago. And we didn't know we needed to wash our fucking hands.
It still feels backwards. It still feels backwards to me. Like a lot of the problems we solve in surgery are done with like needle and thread and staples and nails.
The best example of that is that seems barbaric. And there's actually, I'm going to go back to Star Trek where there's the Star Trek where they go back in time to Earth to get the whale, so the whale can talk to the aliens. I can't remember who it is. One of the crew members falls and bumps his head, and he gets taken to a San Francisco hospital before like the ship's doctor McCoy can get to him. And they're about to drill holes in his head to relieve the pressure because he's got like a hematoma on his brain or whatever. Like, you barbarians, you're gonna drill holes in this man's head, and it's like, yeah, that's literally what we still fucking do in 2020 is we drill fucking holes in their head to relieve the pressure.
A lot of surgery seemed kind of carpentry based.
They use screws. Like, have you
and
ever
nails,
seen
but they call them pins.
I was watching one of my friends who went to medical school was like talking to me about how the misconceptions of non-doctors is like none of us are doctors, and so when we see like a surgery going on, like we're imagining the dude in there like putting every little organ like that he had to remove back in the exact spot where it needs to go and organizing this and that. And he's like, no, watch this video. Look what they actually do. They had to remove this guy's intestines and like his spleen and fix something else, and then look at how they put it in, and the doctor just like haphazardly just like grabs it, like slams it in there, and is like tucking the edges in, and then they start sewing him up. Yeah, he's literally like he's doing laundry, and I'm like, holy shit, isn't that what's gonna happen?
Are we gonna get that thing that horses and Great Danes get?
Yeah, and my buddy was like, no, you're not gonna get that. He was like,
so.
Oh no, in a few days it all reorganizes naturally, it'll be fine. And I guess it does, apparently. Like, your organs will just kind of resettle.
I feel like the poop goes through the intestines and just reorganizes.
It's just like when you turn a water hose on in the yard. It's all kicked up, and it just sort of straightens out and it figures out its own way.
Except your anus flops around forever.
Oh, God, I wish.
Another cool thing they used to do was because, and this was literally just because mercury, like liquid elemental mercury, is so cool looking and weird to us because it's like it's heavy and it's metal, but it's a liquid. All these cultures everywhere across the world were like, oh, this is the key to immortality. I need to drink this. I need to take spoonfuls of this. And so like kings and like Z something Chinese last name, Qin Shi Huang, he was buried in a tomb ringed by rivers of mercury, and he would drink heavy amounts of the metal to try and make himself immortal. And all it really did, gave him cancer.
See, that confirms my theory that it's not as poisonous as people makes it out to be.
I'm pretty sure he was buried in the mercury as a booby trap to prevent people from tampering with his grave. I think that was like a sort of Raider, like an Indiana Jones style booby trap.
Well, no, because at the time, like they thought it was okay to ingest mercury. The doctors were like, "Here you go. Here's your daily mercury dose," and he's like, "God, I'm so cold all the time." We're gonna.
Oh, here, have some mercury. Well, we'll heat it up.
I don't know how to describe it, but my pee feels heavy. What happens to that? Does it just like get distributed throughout your body into reserves of mercury, or do you poop it out? Like
you absorb it. That's the problem. It absorbs into your body and goes to your brain.
I used to play with it in high school. There was mercury available.
Finally, we've solved it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, and people, like, we knew it was poisonous, but I disregarded those warnings. And I didn't drink it or anything, but you could put it in your hand and, like, to transfer it from one hand to the other.
You are not supposed to put mercury in
it absorbs through your skin.
Yeah, but not that much, apparently. I'm fine.
When I was done, there was less of it.
There might have been. But, like, if you drop mercury, I don't know if you guys ever played with mercury, maybe just me.
No,
but
I knew not to.
I think I've barely seen it.
Well, I knew not to, but it was interesting, so I did my... Look, what are you going to listen to every set of instructions they throw at you? You never go anywhere. You won't do interesting things if you listen to everyone's instructions. So anyway,
where did you find it?
In science class, like it was available, and I was like drawn to it. Like, ooh, I'm gonna play with the mercury again because it's cool. And if you drop like a cubic centimeter of it, it kind of splatters into smaller balls, and you have to like guide them back to each other. Yeah, right. You have to guide them back to each other, and then they, it has like an affinity for itself, and then almost like Terminator. The third one. Yeah,
exactly. The liquid second one. Yeah. Well, the third one too. Yeah. That started in the second one.
T-1000?
Oh, I bet you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm right. It started in the second one with the T-1000, played by Robert Patrick.
So Zach, put me on full screen.
Do you have Beatus sores?
What?
It's here. Can you see it? I'm gonna try and.
Oh, you still got that open.
If you have to take your
wound
camera
on your face
and like do a macro shot of the side of your stupid nose.
Do you see it?
Yeah, I see that open wound on your face.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's something I would say.
How do you live with yourself?
How do you leave the house?
Yeah,
so
I would see that from across the Walmart parking lot and go, "Oh, that guy's got a
what a ghoul!"
What kind of cancer did you have, Kyle?
Oh no, it's
with the basal one.
Basal cell carcinoma.
Yeah. Looks like me too.
Fuck yeah, cancer, buddy.
Yeah.
Right.
So
most easily curable cancer out there for everyone listening.
Yeah.
It's so I guess I'll be fine.
It's like the recruit of cancers.
So they took a biopsy, I guess, and it came back. Do they have to go back in for a little bit more of the tissue?
No. So what happened is I had that sore, right?
Yes.
And that sore started last year. It's April recording this. And at first, like I kind of thought it was reoccurring because I wear glasses, and I just bought like regular glasses I wore all day, and I slept in them and got that cut. So I was like, all right, whatevs. And then it's just taking too long to heal. So then after a month of not healing, I start going hardcore on never wearing glasses, if at all possible. I drive without sunglasses. Only on this show. 5 hours a week I wear glasses. The rest of the time I'm in heal mode. And then I started putting this like it's not Neosporin, but like imagine a prescription industrial strength. Neosporin. And that seemed to help a little, but a month of that and it's not getting better. So then I call a dermatologist, and of course it takes a month to see them. And she's looking at the pearly edges of it, and she's like, I think you've got cancer. That's why it's not healing. So I'm going to go to a plastic surgeon where he'll cut it out and put it back together, and then we'll know for sure.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Hopefully it's
luckily, like I said, that's couldn't be much better as far as like the type, right? Yeah,
that's what it should be fine.
It's the best cancer.
I wouldn't fuck around with some fucking osteosarcoma. Like,
I don't know what that is. That
I only do
scary,
good cancers. Yeah,
that's scary. I don't know my cancers, but I'm sorry to hear that. It is scary, huh?
Yeah. So I guess I'll take care of it next week. This weekend I'm going to go play on my. I'm doing the acro weekend. I'm very excited. So my friends are going to take the boat out and make bad decisions over the lake.
This is making me think like. Those stats where it's like 3 out of 4 people are fine if they get carcinoma, whatever the fuck. If it's like 2 out of 3 people are fine, and I know both of you get it and have it, and then I get it, that would suck. So, if I die of that kind of cancer, I'm going to be so embarrassed. Don't upload that
episode. We'll even go back and edit this episode so nobody talks about it as much.
So nobody talks. Say that I was killed by a bear or some sort of animal conflict. Not an embarrassing one, a good one. I was killed by a bear who later died of its wounds. is how I'd like for you guys to lie. If I die, I'll say that Woody literally flew too close to the sun, incinerated. Kyle got STDs that only really cool guys that have lots of sex get. Uncurable.
I'm hoping no more STDs ever.
What's the coolest STD?
The one Al Capone had, neural syphilis.
That's what I had. Well, not the neural part. It takes a decade to develop that.
Yeah.
I would never make it that far. I would get strep throat before that could happen.
And get the jab to fix the strep throat, and it knocked the
Yeah,
syphilis
like I would
out.
take penicillin for something before I got neurosyphilis.
Yeah, I don't go to the doctor unless it's kind of a thing. Like I've the last couple years, I've had like a couple of nasty things. I had that stupid sty in my eye. That was fucking nasty. And then the cancer thing, and that strep throat where I was like coughing up blood. That was fun too. It's been but no COVID. I love that. Like throughout the last no COVID. Can't fuck with me. I like to believe I've been exposed to it dozens of times, and that my testosterone levels are so fucking high that it gets into my bloodstream, and it's like the one white guy like getting inducted into the prison, and it looks like a scene from a black porno or something like that when my white blood cells like gang up on that yellow COVID.
Dude, that was so funny.
4 flights during the height of Omicron to Mexico. Went around like one of the planet's most crowded cities in Mexico City, right? Just shoulder to shoulder with hundreds of thousands of people. I must have been exposed. You should have seen the customs line. There was a basement with 1,000 people, and the line looked like Space Mountain going back and forth. That's awesome. I have to believe I've been exposed, but I don't know that I've had it.
When Kyle got that like bad illness last year, it was so funny because you were texting like, I think I'm dying. I can't breathe. I can't swallow. I can't eat. I feel like I can't do PKN, but I don't think it's COVID. And I'm like, so you're gonna keep working out? And you're like, I should be fine. And I'm like, dude, COVID isn't the only illness. Take a day. Like you clearly have.
I don't like taking days because, like, if you take one day, it's easy to take 2 and then 3 and then 4. It's like anything. Diet's the same way. You've got to build your mountain and stay on top of it.
Yeah,
but,
sometimes you get off track for your diet for 1 year and you fuck up for the next decade.
Right. It can absolutely be like that.
Oh, go ahead, finish it up.
I forgot it. It's fine.
I ruined it. Sam, have you lost weight? I feel like you did.
Yeah,
I think I'm seeing it.
Yeah, so I have a very different outlook to the like physical being, than you guys. I
can't wait.
So like, I play video games and like just be a dad, and then lay on top of my wife a couple times a week, and that's basically my life, right? I don't have to be in like great shape for that, so.
Yeah.
90 seconds of quality cardio.
Yeah. So like that's about it. I just stay in enough shape to be able to do that and like put on my shoes or whatever. And then I'm going on like a hike with some friends in a week. And so I have been working out in order to like not die while I'm out there.
Yeah, I've seen you do like hikes and stuff or talk about them in the videos and stuff before, and I like that. I like that kind of content. But I've seen you in your like shorts, your like Steve Irwin shorts you wear sometimes. And I think you got a good base. Like you've got you got a good base to work with there. You should, if you ever got into it, I think you could.
That is single-handedly one of the most touching, and I'm sorry, like I have. It's so weird because everybody talks about YouTubers being groomers and shit.
Yeah.
I got
never experienced
subs.
it before now.
I have fucking zero pussy, like zero game with the ladies. I haven't got a fucking titty pic. I haven't gotten a single woman, not even the ugliest fucking woman, not even a woman that looks like Taylor coming into my DMs. I haven't
not even shit. Absolute dogs coming in.
I haven't even gotten dudes like giving me a legitimate compliment in years. And then
you just got one.
I just got one. I felt that. I'll send you a leg pic after this, just for you.
No, I mean it. I mean it. I've said it. I've said it to like my friends before. We were watching your videos, and I'm like, look at that guy. Then he works out. He squats.
He does not work out.
He squats. I'm like, look at that guy's thighs. They look powerful.
Yeah, look at his quads, solid quads.
She was like, wow, they do. I bet that guy does hip thrusters.
You showed a woman of something I was in.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like every girl I've ever shown your. I show them your Tarkov stuff. And like first I explain Tarkov in like 90 seconds, and then I'm like, but none of that shit matters. And then like we'll watch like one of your videos. The intro part is like the show.
Yeah, that's that's the thesis statement. That's the show, and then
that's your high quality shit.
That's me just offloading every funny moment I've had with my friends.
Yeah, I like that.
The first
I like
minute is for you guys. The last 40 minutes is for me.
But yeah, I've shown a bunch of people that stuff. It's really high effort, smart, well done, funny, well written. Yes, no, it is smart. No, it absolutely is.
And I'm smart.
No, I mean it. This is a genuine compliment. I've told people this before.
You're in Georgia.
Yeah, yeah.
Be careful. He's gonna accuse you of rape or something. He's setting you up. Two nice things in a row out of Kyle. No, I've known him for 12 years.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. I've seen all your videos. I like them a lot.
I met Kyle in 1999. I'm up to 3 nice things.
No, I really am impressed.
Is this about to be followed up with some brutal shit?
Like build you up and tear you down?
Yeah.
But like the folliculitis, it's like he didn't just take my word for it necessarily. I took my shirt off and I was like, "Look, folliculitis," and he's like, "Yep, that's folliculitis." I was like, "I think I need this, right?" He's like, "Yep, that is what is prescribed." You know, it's not like I'm like, actually, I'd like to try the benzocaine 105R. Yeah, just look it up on your computer. Yeah. Then you.
I think I'm filling in some blanks incorrectly in Kyle's medical care, but I still want that imaginary thing. I want like a Mexican pharmacist who just prescribes anything. I say this because I know people who's gone to Mexico and like you don't need a doctor's prescription to get lots of shit.
Yeah, he's always given me what I asked for, but I've never asked for anything that's not appropriate. You know, like I feel like some doctors don't want to give you antibiotics unless you're very sick. But you know that time I had to go like film in the desert, I was just like, hey, I'm very sick here. Like I'm not making this up. I see 3 times a year maybe that, and every time I come, I'm sick. I have to go work for the next 2.5 weeks in a fucking desert. I want antibiotics. I want codeine, and I want anti-inflammatory and anti-inflammatory injection in my ass. And he's like, yeah, we can do that.
They are so stingy with their fucking Vicodin in my experience. My girlfriend got surgery and I was telling her to get Vicodin the whole time so I could steal it. And they wouldn't, not only would they not give her a script, but they injected some weird subdermal like time release pill of some kind of Oxycontin, Vicodin, whatever it was. I don't know, but that was the painkiller they gave her. They wouldn't give her anything else.
Did you try sucking it out?
Yeah, that's gonna turn you gay. It's full of fluoride. But they have turned into such assholes. Like I'm sitting there, she's in pain. I'm in much more pain because I don't have the Vicodin. And I'm like, it's easier for me to make a text to go get the prescription that I need than it is for you to just give it to her, you bitch. Like, what is your problem here?
Yeah, I don't like there's a huge opiate problem in the country.
But I do this paragliding thing, and people carry med kits with them, right? Because it's a dangerous sport. People get hurt. And like I know a guy who has a podcast who considers it irresponsible to fly without painkillers. I'm not talking about ibuprofen. I'm talking about good shit. And I'm like, how do you stock a med kit? These people that go sailing, right? And they've got like antibiotics and like quality codeine based painkillers and things like that because they might need them on the open sea. How do you stock a med kit? Like, do doctors just be like, yeah, you know, like that's your situation. I'll help you. I don't know.
I think I could get antibiotics if I wanted them. You know, I think if I just asked for them, that's not a controlled substance. It's just if you explain to him, hey, I'm going boating and I would like a prescription for antibiotics just in case something bad happens. I feel like he'd just do it. Like, why not? Why wouldn't he do it?
I don't know if the phrase international waters mean anything to them. Does that help?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But I think he hooked you up with antibiotics. Getting the painkillers though, that's definitely. I mean, I've never wanted them or anything. I've never tried to get them.
I don't want to. Someone who was there hooked me up with some quality painkillers when I broke my leg flying. It's just a thing that these guys stock, you know. And like I took a picture of the prescription bottle so that I could tell my doctors what I was on. And but yeah, they're prepared in that way.
If I'm the guy, I'm like, hey, you took a picture of my bottle? Don't you take pictures of my bottle?
The doctor's like, what are you on? And I wasn't able to explain it. One, drug names don't have names that are memorable, like to me. And so I'm like, I got a picture of it. And he's like, that's perfect. You know, and he knew it was up. So.
Yep, we got one.
Hey, question.
Well, I got his address and everything, yeah.
When we're doing the YouTube topics, you guys, what weird thing is YouTube suggesting that you've gotten into? Kyle did MREs.
I've been watching
go
ant
ahead.
farms.
What?
Oh,
What the
yeah.
fuck?
Like time lapse ant farms, watching those little motherfuckers build their little houses and like tear things apart is so satisfying. I think it's
bet.
Ants Canada.
Yeah,
Something
Ants Canada. I was
to
gonna
do.
say it's this like really jolly Canadian guy who walks you through all the different species and tubes, and it's really cool.
Yeah, he really loves ants.
Did you guys ever
And
have an ant
he's-
farm as a kid?
I did.
Me too.
I
Did
tried.
yours get out too?
No, I think they all died.
They
I
all
think I
died.
tried adding my own food.
Not
And-
mine. I like to think their descendants are still in New Jersey somewhere. They just made it.
I had an ant farm, but I'm from Georgia, so it was a fire ant farm. And I did it in an enormous pickle jar, like the really big ones you can get.
This is like a ball jar, like a big glass.
Yeah.
I don't know what a
Yeah,
enormous pickle jar is.
3 gallons glass
Oh.
jar.
Okay.
Like that jar of pickled eggs you might see at like an old
Oh.
Western bar, like big fucking glass jar. And it was full of fire ants. And I would, give them sugar and like bugs and stuff.
Was this
like
a
some
kit you
unfortunate-
bought?
No, I bought a pickle jar. I got a pickle jar. Went out back with a shovel.
But usually they're clear in such a way that you can see what they're doing. You just
It's a pickle jar. They're clear.
yeah, but this is just like dirt outside.
middle.
Outside? No, I put it on the kitchen table.
Obviously, yeah. Where else would
Did
you
it
put
ever
the fire
actually?
ants?
Did it ever actually get like looking cool or anything, or no?
No,
You
they
can't
just all
see it.
fucking
It's
died
dirt.
because they were in a pickle jar.
I put
I
it in the
remember when I
sun
was, like,
and hit
when I was-
210 in there.
And I didn't get like an accurate ratio of the whole hierarchy of a fire ant nest. I just went, got a big shovel full of ants and threw them in a jar. And it's probably a bunch of like privates and lieutenants, and they're just like, "Where's the president?
Yeah,
Where's the?" It quickly fell apart. The whole society crumbled.
When I was a kid, just made me think of bug pets. I found like a praying mantis, like maybe that tall,
Yeah.
outside, and I caught him and put him in a little like shitty old little terrarium looking thing. And I remember like at first it was like, oh cool, I'm gonna go catch a cricket outside, and then take it in and like drop it in there, and you watch him kind of. First of all, they take fucking forever to make a decision on anything. I don't know how David Attenborough waits that long for all the planet Earths, for all the bugs to make their minds up. It would just stand there and look at the cricket for like half an hour sometimes. But then eventually he would just get it, eat it, and you'd watch him like, man, that's cool. After a couple of weeks, because I was a child, I lost interest in it. And I remember like it was green when I caught it, and I was playing on the Nintendo or something, and it was like over on next to me. And my dad came down, and he was like, hey, Taylor, the praying mantis isn't looking so good. And it was just like gray and sad looking.
Oh.
And I was like, and he's like, you should probably go feed it. And I was like, oh. And so I was going outside to get a bug, and then I saw it was raining, and I was like, nah. so I just went
Insect
back
owner.
and kept playing it, and it died.
Dude, that would have been the best way to be a scientist in olden days. You
No
just take a
training.
bunch of skulls and you got like a whatever. What
The
the
head
fuck is that
scratcher.
thing?
It looks
the
like a
head
big caliper.
Yeah, it's a caliper where you're like, this guy was a rapist. It's like, well, I'm no doctor, so I take his word for it. Yeah, being a doctor gets more and more fun, I think, the further back in time you get.
Oh, for sure.
Just
Oh, for
like,
sure.
you get
At
back
some
to, like,
point, you're
ancient
just making
Egypt.
shit up as you go along. You're just like the guy with the cleanest hands.
Yeah, you're just a guy with the cleanest hands.
Someone's got to pull it out of Matumbo. What about Billy? His hands are very clean.
And he is a very good doctor.
Yeah.
Wash your hands in the goat piss and then come over here. Yeah. 3,000 years ago, being a doctor, that would have been pretty sick.
Yeah, I was watching this. Rogan had this guest recently who was talking about the pygmies in Africa or some shit, and how like it's like that thing we always joke about for some reason, where you're always like talking about how they want to crack open the white man's skull to cure the AIDS or get the gold out or some shit.
Yeah.
They were literally holding this little boy down and cutting him and bleeding him because they wanted to drink his blood to cure their AIDS.
Was he albino?
Did it work?
He was black. He was just a pygmy. They're the little folk.
Oh.
And they were raping all the women, just raping the churches, burning the women, just going ham.
Why were they doing this?
To get rid of
to cure
AIDS.
their AIDS.
Okay.
No, it's a real thing. Like
I don't think that's a real thing.
Being well, it doesn't work, but it's a real thing. They try.
I thought that's the angle we were about to take.
No, it's a real thing.
All right, I'll back you up, Taylor, but I don't think he's going to bite.
No, we all know the cure is to inject yourself with $200,000 cash, as in South Park. But like, yeah, it's a real thing that like being born albino in some of those areas in Africa, the roughest spot in life because you are going to get fucked with. Like people,
even if they don't fuck with you, you're in Africa, and you have no, what is it? Melatonin, melanin. Yeah, melatonin's that's that other stuff.
Yeah,
helps you sleep.
Yeah, well, they say it does, but I don't think that's true. I think research showed that it was the sodium and the fat or something like that from the turkey. I bought my Thanksgiving turkey. We'll get to that later, though.
You think of tryptophan.
That's fucking tryptophan. This is way too much for us to keep track of these days.
That I agree with.
Those people are roasting under the sun. Imagine like I get sunburned pretty badly. I've got kind of fair skin. Taylor's even more fair than I am, and but like someone like Bill Burr who's like a ginger, like he's the worst of the worst until you see that albino African boy just hiding in a hut. They suddenly go down.
You're right. I never thought about that. That sucks.
People think of me as, maybe not as white as I really am because I get a lot of sun in the summer, but I'm not a ginger. I'm a ginger factory, right? I'm a ginger producer and actually quite fair skinned.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of factory I am yet. So we'll see.
I'm closed for repairs. Shit is not happening.
The day you die.
Did you get a vasectomy? Is that what I'm? Maybe
I plan to. I absolutely plan to. Like I don't see.
Don't do that. Roll the dice, bitch.
Be a man, Kyle. See what happens.
Yeah.
No.
Roll the dice, bitch. That's solid life advice.
Xbox Live taught me long ago that I do not want a child. And I have made fun of far too many younglings with disabilities to roll those dice. If there is a god or karma,
yeah, they're gonna get you.
Then I am going to spawn a mutant with fucking octopus arms and an 83 IQ and. It's not going to go well.
I just have a stereotypical Asian. Yeah,
if you're a black albino person, what are you?
Well, you're still African. Yeah.
I didn't ask where you're from.
Well, no, but like your ethnicity would be African or whatever. Like, yeah, you'd still be African.
American's not it. Like that's a geography, right? Am I crazy?
Yeah, African is geography.
No, nationality is what you're thinking of. Ethnicity is like race, right?
No. Because Africa is a continent, not a nation. It's African American is a geography thing. It's a distinction of geography.
Yeah, I think you can be African and white, such as South African.
There you go, like Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johannesburg. Yeah, that's South Africa.
I think you left out a syllable, Kyle. There's two hands in there.